Hey everyone, Scott here, and today I wanted to talk to you about some more Mythic Booster cards that have been revealed. At New York City Comic Con there is a Dragon Ball booth, and on display they have some cards for the new set as well as the upcoming Mythic Booster, and some of these are ones that have not been revealed before, so I wanted to quickly go through them in this video. So we can see most of them here. There's a few that are obscured here by the box. At least two of them, although I have a pretty good idea of what this one is. So I'll quickly talk about the ones we've already seen. So it was this Goku, this Vegeta, this here, even though the name's cut off, is Mafuba, Senzu, and the Gojira. Those were all already revealed. I did do a video about it. I'll put a card in the top right if you want to go see and get my thoughts on those cards. So to get into some of the cards that weren't already revealed, we have After Image Technique here and Power Burst down here. So these obviously both from set 5, the Sparking Negates. I think in terms of like common cards that not necessarily deserve a reprint, but people will be happy to get new versions of, I think the Sparking Negates are all fine. Like I said before, I have a pretty good idea that this is Shocking Death Ball. You can see here it's an extra card. You can see the double L on the end. The little kind of set number part is the card's colour, and that looks pretty green to me. And also you can just about make out, if you look at the artwork on the original, you can see like a yellow bit here and a green there. If we go over to the original Shocking Death Ball, you can see here that that probably is Super 17's arm. And that would make sense with the way that the original After Image Technique and Power Burst were Goku and Master Roshi, so it makes sense for Shocking Death Ball to also still be the same character that it was before Super 17, so I'm pretty sure that's what this is. So I think that'd be a pretty good indication that they're doing all of the Sparking Negates from set 5, so that would also mean Dimension Magic and Time Magic, although I wouldn't put it past them not to reprint one or two of those, especially since they're already doing a blue negate with Mafuba. Maybe they wouldn't do another one with Dimension Magic. So you can see down here there's also the Dragon Balls are getting a reprint. Again, as a card that is going to be a common, there's not going to be too many exciting picks they could have, so Dragon Ball. The Dragon Balls are an iconic part of the series, and maybe this is an indication we're going to be getting some more Wish Leaders in the future. I think we've seen with Mecha in set 13, last set, Wish Leaders are still viable, as long as they have the right tools, so maybe this is a sign that maybe we'll get some Wish Leaders going forward. Probably not in the next set, because I believe none of the leaders that we've seen are Wish Leaders. I don't think any of the other ones in the trailer were. So maybe in the next set after the Mythic Booster, set 16, I think, maybe we'll get some Wish Leaders. Or maybe they're just doing this, like I say, because it's an iconic part of the series. Or maybe it's the fact that they just did print some support for Wish Leaders with the new Shenron, Come Forth Shenron, I believe the card was called. The Desire card, I believe there was also one or two cards maybe for the Chi-Line Limo Wish Leader from set 6. So maybe these are just, they're reprinting the Dragon Balls for anyone who jumps onto Wish Leaders because of that new support. So here we have one that I'm not super excited about, which is the Surge Broly Leader. For this to be being reprinted again so soon after it was just reprinted in Collector Selection Volume 1. I'm not particularly happy about that. I'm probably going to go into it in another video because I kind of want to keep this one short, but the way they keep just reprinting the same cards over and over I don't think is good long-term strategy for their kind of reprint policy. So, but like I say, I'll talk about that in another one, so I'm not super excited about this one, especially if it is going to be like, with it being a promo, they could theoretically put it in basically any slot on the kind of rarity scale for the Mythic Booster. Hopefully it's going to be an uncommon or common. Like if this was rare or super rare, that would suck. To go back to kind of the days of the rare you get from a pack being a leader, they moved away from that for a reason. A lot of people are unhappy about that, especially when it's not a card you want in multiples. A few of these other ones, because as you can see here, once I start kind of zooming in, it gets a bit blurry. So what I've done is I grabbed this Goku Black here, this Gojira, the Goku, and the Toa. Oh, and the Vegeta here. And I've opened up the original versions over on DBS Deck Planet so I can more clearly show off which cards they are. So first up we have the Goku Black here, which is another promo. A lot of promos been reprinted in the Mythic Booster, so it'd be interesting to see, like I was just saying with the Surge Broly, where they end up kind of in the rarity scale. There's a lot of different places they could fit them in. So this was a Championship 2020 card. Obviously, there weren't a ton of these given out because of most countries going into lockdown, or some form of lockdown for a large part of last year, when these cards were originally supposed to be distributed to people, the Championship 2020 cards. So to give people another chance to pick this card up, I think is pretty good. Overall, I think this is a pretty good decision for them to reprint this. It's a card that will see some amount of play in the blue-yellow Goku Black Zamasu deck. So yeah, that versatility of it just being something you can do to get a body on the board, restand your energy for other things you may want to do during your opponent's turn, like arrivals or more negates. Or in the early game, it's just removal. I think this is a pretty good card for them to choose to reprint. Hopefully it's not too high on the rarity scale, just so there's more copies out there for the people that need them. But yeah, not a bad choice. So next up we have Super Saiyan Gojira, Acrobatic Warrior. So this is a card that was seeing some use fairly recently in the red-green King Piccolo deck, where they would use the Piccolo Jr. with Alliance. This is the Gojira that, when it's switched to rest mode by Alliance, just deals 1 damage to your opponent. Obviously, King Piccolo since then has been nerfed slightly. They had, I believe it was Drum limited to 1. There was also the Bardock, I believe they used, was also limited to 1 and then just outright banned. So there's not as much King Piccolo running around at the moment as there was a few months ago, when this probably would have been a better reprint then. But still, for the people who are playing that deck, or if Alliance becomes a thing again in the future, this is a decent selection for those decks. Next up we have the Goku Instinct Surpassed. This is another one that would have been a great reprint a few months ago, but the deck it's for has been nerfed since. This, I believe, was originally from the Set 9 Dash Packs. Although, to be fair, now I'm looking at it, this is not the one I was thinking of. I was thinking that one must be from the set. The Goku that they would play on turn 6 lets them get the 3 energy to do the catastrophic blow thing. This is a different one, I guess. And maybe now that the deck isn't able to use catastrophic blow as the win condition, maybe they rely on this instead. I don't know. I feel like a lot of people just stop playing Invoker altogether. Again, this seems like an okay choice. Like, hopefully it's not too high on the rarity scale, because I know a lot of people would not be happy to open this as like one of the SRs from their box. Next up we have Glory Obsessed Prince of Destruction Vegeta. This is one I haven't seen people play this one lately, but it does seem like it's still an okay card. Like, it can attack into your opponent's back cards in active mode, as long as you have a red leader, obviously. And then once per turn, as long as you're attacking a battle card, you can switch it back to active and it gets plus 10k for the battle. So it becomes a 25k attack into one of your opponent's battle cards that may very well be in active mode. Seems like an effect that could still see some play in the right kind of deck. I know generally if people were more in that kind of attacking battle cards in active mode thing, they would do the, I believe it's the Sin Shenron Unison from set 10. Just lets all your red cards attack battle cards in active mode, rather than just having one specific card in your deck that can attack battle cards in active mode. But still, this maybe could be a card that some people are excited for. Maybe they use it in some decks. I don't think I've ever used it, despite having a few copies of it. And it's another championship card, so as far as I know, it hasn't been reprinted since it was first distributed in 2018. Still, it's not a super expensive card, so if people wanted it, they could have grabbed a few copies of it. So yeah, kind of a middling choice, in my opinion. And then the final card to talk about is Dark Temptation Toa. So this is another one where this would have been great a couple of months ago, because this saw play in the Reboot Gohan deck. The fact that if your leader is green, you give it plus 5k power for the turn. So they would do that before they would swing in 3 times at you with their leader. So essentially for Overwhelm 3, which was not hard to do in that deck, they would basically get 15k power boost across 3 attacks, obviously. It also made your opponent drop a card, which is pretty good for just getting rid of those like negates they may have had early on. But now that leader's been banned, so I don't really know what deck plays this card anymore. really makes you wonder, the people who are deciding what's going to be reprinted, are they the same people that are deciding bans? Because based on a lot of these reprints, I would assume they're not. Otherwise, I don't think they would reprint some of these cards necessarily. Feels like quite a few of them have been made obsolete by some of the kind of erratas or bans we've had recently. So again, this is, I would say, kind of a strange choice at this point, because there's not really a deck I can see that uses this. I think there are just better overram cards for most green or yellow decks, depending on what they want to do. So yeah, that's it for this video. Those are my kind of overall thoughts. Some of these I'm pretty happy with, like the Sparking Negates. I think they're fine inclusions at common. Hopefully some of these other ones that are on this page here aren't going to be too high on the rarity scale, otherwise they will be annoying to pull as kind of the super rare or rare from a pack. But in terms of like choices they would have for cards they could reprint, kind of at the lower rarity slots especially, I don't really know what else you could ask for. A lot of these are pretty middling, but you would expect that if they're going to be either commons or uncommons. Like I say, it's only if they start appearing at the higher rarity slots that they're going to be questionable. So yeah, go ahead, leave a like on this video if you've enjoyed it. Go ahead and subscribe to the channel to be notified when new videos come out. And thanks for watching.